Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going for a little walk. It's nice and bright. I'm travelling light. I have 18600 and Z9 and camouflage. So I'm hoping I can sneak around, conceal myself, and maybe get some shots of something. Don't really know what we'll try and photograph, but just going to take it as it comes and see what we can find. So the tactic for today, now that I've got some camo on, is just to slowly walk around and then just stand and see what appears. I tend to find with the camo on, the birds will be a bit more lenient, they'll come a little closer. If you just sit and watch, you'd be surprised what shots you might get. I am hoping to get the cuckoo, that location where I know it likes to come to. I was out the other evening and I did hear it. I just saw a funny shaped bird fly into a tree. I think I heard a bit of a coarse sounding cuckoo. The sound changes throughout the year, so I think I might have heard it. So I'm going to ease over in that direction and make it like a tree, see if we'll have any joy. But for today's video, what I want to do, I'll spend some time out this morning and I believe there's a white throat there. Later on, I'm going to come out with the audio recorder. I'd like to get some audio of the cuckoo so I can share with you how the sound changes. So I got a recording back in May, and the cuckoo sounds as you'd expect them to. They start to sound a bit weird. It's hard to describe, but if we can get a recording, you'll hear it. So that's the plan for today. So I'm going to try and creep up on this white throat and move over to that cuckoo area. Mystery bird was a kestrel, so it's actually over in this tree. Some footage that I got of it from a distance. Lovely bird, but I'm not too fussed about walking over near it because it's only going to fly away. I know I won't get a great shot, so instead I'm just going to continue along up this track nice and slowly and see what little birds I can find. I was out here before, I think it was in August, so later on in the year. There were what I believe to be young buntings, and there's also young white throats. So yeah, as I cruise along, you might come across some of them. Now what would be really nice would be to see some deer, or even something like a hare. So I've not photographed any mammals for a long time. So it would be good. Now I was out the other night, as I mentioned, and I went to send a voice note on my phone. Next thing, 2 fallow crickets jumped out and they made their great escape. But what I've decided to do, I've ordered a thermal monocular. There's a white throat right there. Oh, it's gone. But yeah, I've ordered a thermal monocular so that as I'm walking along, I'll be able to scan and then see a heat signature. I'll know there's something there. I'm hoping that's going to have an immediate impact on my mammal photography because if you know there's something there, you stand a lot more chance of getting in a good position to photograph it. But this time of year, you just can't tell what's around. So yeah, I should have that next week. But there's a deer right there. See? Literally a pricket just hopped out right there and ran off. See, this is what I'm talking about. If I had a thermal monocular, I'd be scanning now, I'd have seen that, could have maybe got a shot. Instead I'm here talking, it's hopped out and ran off. So that's my point proven. Anyway, we'll continue. So I've just had a lot of success there with a wren. So wrens are very inquisitive. So I saw it, came from behind me and flew out sort of over diagonally. Now what wrens tend to do is they'll fly by and make a little bit of noise. And if you sit and wait long enough, they'll sort of move around. They might fly around, you know, in a circle and move around. You get a good look at where you are, and eventually they then reveal themselves. This one came out and had a good sing, as you will have seen on that footage. Yeah, it came really close. I must say, I feel like with camouflage, if you stay still, some of the birds do get a little bit inquisitive and they sort of come a little bit closer for a look. So, yeah, paying off. Just as I went to move on there, I've seen some linnets. I'd love to get a good shot of a linnet because I don't have any good shots. So I'm just sort of sitting here and hoping some might come close. The heather's starting to get a little bit of colour in it as well, so if a linnet landed on that, that's some top tier photography. So that's never going to happen, but look, we can be hopeful. Now, because today's so bright, settings wise, we're actually doing pretty good. So I'm able to keep the ISO pretty low. With the Z9, I find if I go above 1600 ISO, I do notice a decrease in the image quality. So I'm trying to keep my ISO sort of around 1000 and below. I'm still getting shutter speed that will freeze action. You also have to remind yourself, because for bird photography you would typically want a shutter speed of 1/3200th of a second to freeze action if they're in flight. But if they're not in flight, you don't need that shutter speed. If they're landing on a branch or on something that's stationary, you can get a far slower shutter speed, lower your ISO, get better image quality. There's a linnet. So yes, that is what we're doing today. Anywho, I will stop vlogging now because the linnet's over there. So yes. So I ended up following a little deer path off to the area where the cuckoo was. It snuck in. I went to a tree sort of near to where the kestrel was. Then it flew in front of me, sat preening. It was there for about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And then, yeah, it just flew off to the right, and it's too far away to get a good shot, but at least I've seen it, so I'll come back out later. Yeah, I'll start to make my way home now. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but yeah, there was some white throats as I was coming out here. I went by a gorse bush and there was these white throats poking their heads out, and yeah, making a few noises. They seemed a little bit disturbed, so I only spent a minute there because they might have young near, so I don't want to be giving them too much grief. But I got some nice shots of them, and yeah, they actually did come by then, so I was sat further away watching the cuckoo and one came by, so yeah, good to see them. I think I didn't have any good shots till today, so I am happy enough with that. But yeah, that's it. Gonna head home and we'll be out again later. home. But look at that. Just come across this antler. Just gonna go through these woods. That is a proper decent palmation. So this would be from what's called a fallow buck. So I'm pretty sure it's 3 species we have here in Ireland: fallow, sika, and red deer. We don't get a roe here. We get them in England, but we don't get them here. And the way you can tell that this is a fallow buck is this sort of wide bit is called palmation. So that is a decent palmation for a wild fallow. It's not bad. Now, fallow deer from parks and things will have a much bigger palmation because they get to an older age, so it sort of increases as they get older. So quite often the bucks out here, they either get shot or they get caught in a fence and die, or they might die of natural causes. So it's cool. I'm gonna walk through these woods. I guess I'll check in if I see anything else that's cool. So off we go. We are back out now for our evening session. It's substantially warmer, and as you see, I've got a big old bag. So this time I have the 70-200 in case there's any nice landscape scenes. So I have the audio recorder and the Rode NTG5 so we can capture the sound of the cuckoo. So the other day I went the way that I'm going now, and while on my walk I saw some beautiful scenes and saw a nice stone chat. So there might be an opportunity to get some shots again and get some audio. This is going to be hard. I'm dripping already. It's warm. This bag's... It's not hugely heavy. It's heavy enough that you'd notice it. But look, still, it's nice to get out. I don't usually shoot in the evenings. I don't like it when the light's decreasing. I prefer the morning when the light's coming to you. But it's interesting. So yeah, let's go see what we can find. Cruising along up the hills there, couldn't help but notice the head of a deer breaking the horizon line. There was this female. This doe was walking along by herself, so got a small bit of footage of her, 1 or 2 snapshots. So it's promising. It's good to see a little bit of activity. Just had a pheasant make me jump. I was walking along, all of a sudden I was like, what the fuck, what was that? And female pheasant burst out and flew away. So yeah, a few things around. I can actually see the peak of the Knockmill Downs over there. So yeah, I'm going to be walking up to a vantage point and I'll get to see a good view of that. Now it's kind of a hazy evening. It's weird. There's cloud and just haze. So I'm not really going to get any interesting light, I don't think, until the sun sets. I think I'd rather be trying to get the cuckoo at that point, so not holding out too much hope for the landscapes today, but we'll still get a shot just for prosperity. I do have a concern for the audio. It's silage season here in Ireland, So you can hear a lot of tractors in the background whirring. That's something that the audio, the microphone is going to pick up. But look, we'll still try to get a recording anyway. You never know, there might be a break in the old silage cutting. So when I was here the other day, this view was spectacular. It was very, very nice. But today, it's not hideous, but it's just not as I had envisaged it. So to describe it to you, the other day when I was here, there was some dense clouds with strong texture and shadows, and then a lighter patch as the light was coming through from the right, and a lot more going on. But I only had the 180 to 600, so I did try a few shots handheld. I haven't actually stitched them together yet, so I might try that and I can show you. And then I'll show you what I've just got now with the 70 to 200. It's not very good, to be honest, but oh well. So I just tried a square crop there. It doesn't really work. I had tried a 16:9, not actually with this exact frame, so I've not even seen what this looks like. We'll just take a shot, because why not? But yeah, just tried a few different aspect ratios. Yeah, it's a shot which will work on a different day. So yeah, I'll put the 180-600 back on and we'll continue our little journey back around to where the Cuckoo was earlier. Then we'll crack the audio equipment out. I'm hearing some good sounds. I think that's a siskin possibly, so yeah, we'll try and record some of those sounds then. It's not looking good. There's tractors everywhere. I see must be a combine harvester over there. I see 2 tractors over there, tractor over there. It's no good for recording audio. I also don't happen to hear or see a cuckoo, and the light's not that strong. So it's looking like I'm gonna jack it in and this is the end of the session. So I'm gonna stroll home. If I get any good shots, I'll post them now. Hopefully you enjoyed the morning session, because there was success with that. I got to dress like a tree and get a picture of a little wren and white throats. That was good. Actually, on that with the white throat, so I got a little look at the images there earlier on, and I noticed on one of them, his eye was covered in ticks. At the time, you just don't notice these things, but yeah, you had about 4 or 5 ticks right near his eye. So I have noticed them. Like when you're out here walking through the heather and there's rushes, you do get the ticks on you. But I'll say I have a repellent. Oh, kestrel, sparrowhawk. Sparrowhawk there. So I have a repellent from a company called Sawyer, and it's really, really good for repelling ticks. So I put it directly onto my pants, trousers, my shirt, and sometimes you see the ticks on you. They'll crawl up a bit, but after a while they'll fall off. And so far I found it fantastic. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't really be out in these environments too much if you don't use a repellent or something, because these ticks are just rampant. And yeah, the point that got me to here is the poor whitethroat with ticks right near its eye. It's just a sign they just go for anything. So if you are out in these conditions, out in these environments, keep your trousers tucked into your socks, get some form of a repellent, and make sure to do a tick check afterwards, because you don't want Lyme's disease. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. That's it for this session. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next vlog.